అగ్రవర్ణాల్లోని ఆర్థికంగా వెనుకబడిన వర్గాలకు రిజర్వేషన్లు కల్పించే EWS పై సుప్రీంకోర్టు తీర్పు వెలువరిస్తుంది. ప్రత్యక్ష ప్రసారం ద్వారా చూద్దాం.
Wealth, talent or realization of one's abilities, the diversities abound. The idea of fraternity is to awaken to the consciousness of each member of society that our institutions which are created, the ideas that we develop, and the progress that we wish to achieve cannot be in isolation, by separation, but with cooperation and harmony. On this, I want to highlight the words of two social reformers, which demonstrate that the principle of fraternity and the ideas and values connected to it are not new, but in fact transcend time. Swami Vivekananda's message in his address to the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago on 11 September 1893 has the theme of universal brotherhood of all, that differences in religion, the exclusion of one of other would fade. He evocatively said, if anybody dreams of the exclusive survival of his own religion and destruction of others, I pity him from the bottom of my heart and point out to him the hammer, the banner of every religion will soon be written, in spite of resistance, help and not fight, assimilation and not destruction, harmony and peace and not dissension. Aurobindo too was conscious of the need for fraternity. In a speech delivered in Howrah in 1909, he presciently said, again there is fraternity. It is the last term of the gospel. It is the most difficult to achieve, still it is a thing towards which all religions call and human aspirations rise. There is discord in life, but mankind yearns for peace and love. This is the reason why the Gospels will preach brotherhood, which preach brotherhood, spread quickly and excite passionate attachment. This was the reason for the rapid spread of Christianity. This was the reason of Buddha's spread in the country and throughout Asia. This is the essence of humanitarianism, the modern gospel of love for mankind. None of us have achieved our ideals, but human society has always attempted an imperfect and limited fulfillment of them. It is the nature, the dharma of humanity, that it should be unwilling to stand alone. Every man seeks the brotherhood of his fellow, and we can only live by fraternity with others. To all its differences and discords, humanity is striving to become one. Summary of findings in questions 1 and 3. On question 1, it is held that the state's compelling interest to fulfill the objectives set out in the directive principles through special provisions on the basis of economic criteria is legitimate. That reservation or special provisions have so far been provided in favor of historically disadvantaged communities cannot be the basis for contending that other disadvantaged groups who have not been able to progress due to the ill effects of poverty should remain so, and the special provision should not be made by way of affirmative action. Therefore, the special provisions based on objective economic criteria is per se not violative. However, in answer to question 3, I have highlighted the framework within which it has been introduced by the impugned amendment, excluding backward classes. According to me, this is violative of the basic structure. A universally acknowledged truth is that reservations have been conceived and quotas created through provisions in the Constitution only to offset fundamental, deep-rooted generations of wrongs perpetrated on entire communities and castes. Reservation is designed as a powerful tool to enable equal access and equal opportunity. Introducing the economic basis for reservation as a new criterion is permissible. Yet, the othering of socially and educationally disadvantaged classes, including SCs, SCs, and OBCs, by excluding them from this new reservation on the ground that they enjoy pre-existing benefits, is to heap fresh injustice based on past disability. The exclusionary clause operates in an utterly arbitrary manner. First, it others those subjected to socially questionable and outlawed practices, though they are amongst the poorest sections of the society. Secondly, for the purpose of new reservation, the exclusion operates against socially disadvantaged classes and castes absolutely, by confining them within their allotted reservation quotas. Thirdly, it denies the chance of mobility from reserve quota based upon past discrimination to a reservation benefit based only on economic deprivation. The net result of the entire exclusionary principle is Orwellian, so to say, which is that all the poorest are entitled to be considered regardless of their caste or class, yet only those who belong to other classes or caste would be considered, and those from socially disadvantaged classes would be ineligible. Within the narrative of the classification jurisprudence, the differential or marker distinguishing one person from the other is deprivation alone. The exclusion, however, is not based on deprivation but social origin or identity. This strikes at the essence of the non-discriminatory rule. Therefore, the total and absolute exclusion of constitutionally recognized backward class of citizens is nothing but discrimination, which reaches to the level of undermining and destroying the equality code, and particularly the principle of non-discrimination. Therefore, on question 3, it is clear that the impugned amendment and the classification it creates is arbitrary, results in hostile discrimination of the poorest segments of society that are socially and educationally backward and are subjected to caste discrimination. For these reasons, Articles 15(6) and 16(6) are struck down and held to be violative of the Equality Code, particularly the principles of non-discrimination and non-exclusion, which form an inextricable part of the basic structure of the Constitution. While this reasoning is sufficient to conclude that Article 16(6) is liable to be struck down, there are additional reasons elaborated in Part 5, due to which this court is compelled to clarify that while the economic criteria per se is permissible in relation to access to public goods under Article 15, the same is not true of Article 16, the goal of which is empowerment through representation of the community. For the above reasons, it is hereby declared that Sections 2 and 3 of the Constitution 103rd Amendment Act 2019, which inserted Clause 6 in Article 15 and Clause 6 in Article 16 respectively, are unconstitutional and void on the ground that they are violative of the basic structure of the Constitution. Writ petitions are consequently disposed of. It would be in order to place my gratitude and appreciation for the valuable assistance rendered by all counsel and all the counsel assisting them.
I have concurred with the view taken by Honorable Justice Ravindra Bhatt in its entirety.